Welcome back to the BYOB The Series podcast, where we're interviewing amazing business owners all around the world on the trials, tribulations, and journeys of what it means to actually become their own boss. Like it's everyone's talking about entrepreneurship and how this amazing thing, but no one really emphasizes the challenges that comes with that battle, comes with that mission, comes with that thing that people are building. And that's why we're here at BYOB The Series. It's literally a series of tasks that you have to do to see this goal that you're looking to build and provide to society. George, welcome. So tell the people about yourself. Like, what is it that you do and who are you?
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, so Grace mentioned, my name's George. So I am in the real estate space. And so what I do specifically is I help real estate investment business owners with their technology strategy. And so a lot of folks in the space know my kind of title as the integrator. And so for me, it's a little bit more than just an integrator. Like an integrator for me is like someone who, gets their hands dirty, someone who's prying open the hood, fixing the engine. And I could do that, but I'm more aligned towards the frameworks and the strategies used to scale businesses. And so
Right.
where I've come from is, man, since 2012, I worked at a pretty large corporation. And so working at corporate for the last, 10 plus years, learning strategy, learning how to build products, learning how to, do digital stuff, AI and all that. It was a natural progression for me to just be like, you know what? I've got a pretty good network. Peace, W2. Let me see what this whole world is all about. And didn't realize the journey that was ahead. I knew it would be crazy, but I had no idea. Um, but yeah, man, just learning about businesses and what makes everybody tick. It's all different. Just being able to learn, from all different walks of life and different levels of business maturity and whatnot. Um, I got 2 kids, I got a wife, and, yeah, man, we're out here in San Antonio just, trying to stay cool in the heat out here, so it's a long story short about George.
Got you, man. Got you. That's awesome, bro. Um, so you mentioned that you basically work more so on the framework and system side of things. Can you elaborate on what that entails
Mhm.
of?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so when it comes to, like so when you think of these business owners, these visionaries, they got the wide eye, bird's eye view on, the dream. They know what their dream is, and a lot of these visionaries, like, they can dream pretty crazy, but they just don't have someone to just connect the dots for them, right? And so a lot of times what ends up happening is a visionary can get so far, whether it's through luck, whether it is through actual good principles built in, their operation, combination, right? At a certain point, they run into a wall and they're going to realize, how the heck am I holding everything together on an Excel sheet or, on a napkin? And so
Mhm.
when it comes to like the whole spectrum of the kinds of business owners that I interact with in terms of real estate, like we're talking about like from, the startup making a couple deals a month all the way to $1 million CEOs running an enterprise. And so that's why I got sitting around the table. And so for that whole spectrum, everybody has different needs. And so when it comes to the startups and whatnot, a lot of this tech stuff just it really overwhelms a lot of people. Um, and so for me, it's just like one project at a time. Like you need help with your CRM or you need help with like AI, whatever, right? One project at a time. On the other side of the spectrum, if it's like an organization that has, the C-suite executive that's like, I know technology is an issue in my organization. I don't want to mess with it. I need someone to just plug in a strategy and help me get to where I need to go to stay ahead of this future that is AI and technology. I think one of the really cool things about real estate specifically is like real estate is like it's always been one of the slowest to adopt technology, and for whatever
Right.
reason. Um, but with that said, like there's a ton of opportunity. There's a ton of opportunity, and so just being able to help, whether it's, setting up the foundations, implementing certain strategies, or optimizing and scaling an organization. That's, in a nutshell, what I help the businesses run and move the needle on.
Gotcha. So from the sound, it sounds like you're real big on optimizing life overall.
Mhm.
So at what point of your journey did you realize like working harder wasn't the answer for you and that you personally like just needed a better system in your
Yeah.
life?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. For me, it was like I knew automation solves problems. Like in the back of my mind, like, okay, yeah, let me automate everything. Like it's everybody's dream. If I can have an easy button, do everything, that's the pie in the sky. For me though, like the critical moment for me was when I did quit my W-2, when I realized all the things that I was working on, whether it came to marketing, whether it came to lead generation, XYZ, whatever. There was a point in time where, like, for example, when I first started, where like my pipeline wasn't where it needed to be, but I was working on like a blog or a newsletter. And so like in my mind, I justified it, right? Like this is for a lead magnet or this is going to make me marketable. But the truth is like when I asked myself, like whatever it was I was doing, like when I would ask myself, like if I was creating a newsletter or a blog or whatever, if I would ask myself just like that one word, pipeline. If I just thought of that one word, I knew right away I should be spending my time on my pipeline. Like I need to be working on my traffic. I need to be working on channels. I need to be working on finding ways to pull as many people in through the door as possible. Anything else, I'm wasting my time. Like, what am I doing creating a blog? Like my pipeline, nobody's coming in the doors. Like, what am I doing? And I think moments like that only happen like when you're like those critical moments, like jumping from a W-2 into like really trying to figure out like how to make a life because you got people depending on you.
Facts. Facts. And you said you've basically been an entrepreneur for 12 years now, right?
I've been in corporate for 12 years. I've been an entrepreneur for, well, I mean, it's been a mix, but I left corporate last April. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, how was that journey for you personally? Because I had gotten married the same, was it the same year? Either the same year or the year after I quit my job. I don't even remember. But the transition of like being married and then also being a father, but also an entrepreneur, like how do you personally, like for you, like how do you juggle the balance between each of these different aspects of your life?
That, man, I'm gonna be real, like that's something that I'm still learning how to do, to be honest. What it all comes down to is like being an entrepreneur is a blessing and a curse, like honestly, because like you get to make your dream come true. Like there's nothing more exciting than that. And it's so easy to just be sucked in. And, when you find yourself, working hard 12 plus hours a day, and like in the back of your mind, it's like, yeah, I do it for the kids, I do it for my family, but it's like, what did you teach your daughter today? Like, what quality time did you give your wife today? You know what I mean? It's like, it's hard because, like I said, they depend on you and you want to do all these things and you know that you're capable of it. But when you go from like having this vision of like, this is where I want to be in business, this is my vision, this is my goal, when you realize like at the end of the day, like if I look at myself like 5 years, 10 years from now, my perfect ideal place is somewhere with the family, vacationing or whatever. Like that's what my over like that's what I dream of, right? But when I'm working, like my dreams, my visions are all personal. Like they're all like just what I'm doing for me and what's fulfilling me and whatnot. So like the moment where you finally realize like, man, I look batshit crazy, like just spending all this time on work. And I didn't even know it. Like I thought I was just like, living the dream. Like when you finally realize like your family's being put on the back burner, bro. Like It's
For real.
it's ugly, it's uncomfortable, it's hard to admit, honestly. Um, but when you realize that, you're able to finally acknowledge, like, your family was in your vision, to put them back in your vision. And so, when you're able to, like, really look at yourself in the mirror and 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 put the work down sometimes, like, it's just, be intentional with the people in your life. It's just, like, it's hard because, like, in my mind, like, I'm thinking, like, "Oh, man, I got stuff to do," like, people pay me, like, it's my brand, like, they trusted me with their business. But, when I'm just, like, in tunnel vision and that's all I focus on, like, everything else just kinda disappears, and when I put it down and spend time with my family, like, man, like, nothing can take that away. It's just it's a whole nother feeling. So it's hard, it's hard.
Yeah. I get you, man. I'm in I'm in the same boat. It's like that what drives entrepreneurs is, like, different because we do all of this to like you said, well, I can't speak for everybody, but majority that I know, they do all of it to, like, spend time with their family, to have the money and the freedom to do all these things that they wanna do, but somewhere along that line, the business takes complete control of their life,
Mhm.
where they're no longer seeing their wife, no longer seeing their kids because they work in their business all day, 24/7.
Yep.
And those are some of the challenges, like, I be asking some people, it's like, "Well, if you're looking to get into entrepreneurship, how are you kind of" put it like this, if you're looking into entrepreneurship, it is a somewhat a spiritual journey because you're working so hard to build this thing that is unseeable. Like, you cannot see what you're building, and all your energy and all your effort goes to it. But at the same time, we're still have a life that we're building at the same time. Like, we have a wife, we have kids, we have friends, we have family that still needs our attention at that same capacity almost. But building a business takes so much energy out of people that they see burnout within a couple years, like, honestly.
Mhm.
Um, but I did a little study, is like, yo, why do most businesses fail? And it's usually because they're like revenue and growth. But at the end of that, like, what I'm hearing is like, yo, they're burned out.
Mhm.
Like, they did everything they possibly could at their current time with their current knowledge, given their circumstances, and they just got fed up with it, and it's like, "Yo, we're shutting down this business." Like,
Yep.
um, yeah, that's powerful, man. For you right now, do you have a system or, like, a process, like, how you operate with your family as a business owner than as a husband and a wife?
Yeah, I do, and it's something that I'm still developing to this day. Like I said, I'm still trying to learn how to, really become a better man, a better business owner, a better husband, better father, better son, right? For me, um, my body, not with an alarm, not by choice. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I get at it. And that's where I find just like I get in my zone, I can warm up to it. Like, nobody's, up in that, that early distracting me. Not to say like anybody's distracting me, but you know what I mean? Um, and then honestly, man, it's just like I'm glad you brought up faith, bro, because like faith has done incredible things for me. Um, there have been times on this journey where I'm just like, what the F? Like, there's like this is a nightmare. Like there's no way I'm gonna have to go to Indeed. I'm gonna have to go to jobs.com and start looking for another corporate. I'll get my resume ready. And it's like when when you step outside of that, just like that crazy, like, head trash, and you create space to just like, just talk to the Lord and just like, you know what, like, I know you got me. And even if it means like you want me to go back to corporate, then that's what it is, right? But when you finally just like create a space to allow for him to guide you, you know what I mean? It's like there have been times where I'm just like, man, like I don't know how I'm gonna make it out of this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know at a certain point, like how certain things are gonna get paid. And it's like, the birds don't worry about what they're gonna be eating. I'm not gonna worry about it either. So like I know you got me, and so I'm just gonna trust whatever happens, happens. And bro, like literally, like I promise you, literally when I give up that control and have those conversations with God, it's like, bro, the opportunities are, I'm getting emails, I'm getting text messages, I'm getting like word of mouth, and it's just like it's crazy. It's just crazy. And so power to him.
Facts, facts. All thanks to the Most High.
Mhm.
Um, so that basically is gonna lead me into my next question. Like, can you walk me through that time when you actually did feel like quitting? Like, what did that moment truly look like where you was like, you know what, I'm done. Like, forget this.
Yeah. That was a scary time. At the scariest moment for me, um, some stuff had happened, and so I got a list of clients and whatnot, and one of my bigger clients had, we'll just say he stopped paying for whatever reason, right? And so anyways, we made smart decisions. We're comfortable. I just didn't want to tap into any of that. And like for me, it's like, man, if I tap into that emergency money or whatever it is we got on the side, like that to me, like in a way, kind of translates like I'm in trouble. Like that's emergency money. Like this is an emergency. Like I am in trouble. And so I wanted to do everything I could to just like not touch it. And so just not allowing myself to have access to it, still knowing that bills got to get paid, still knowing that, my daughter's going to wake up and wanting, toys and whatnot. And my wife looking up to me as the leader of the household is just like, and I told her, I was like, you didn't know. And all I could do is tell you, like, I got this, like, I'm going to figure it out. But you didn't know, like, I had no idea what I was doing. And I was scared out of my mind. And in those moments, I had really had to force myself to, like, leave behind the things that don't belong to me in regards to spiritual, regards to mental. Like, there's a lot of sabotage that I brought, honestly. And in a weird way, a lot of those things, like, got me far. Like like, if I got angry, for example, like, and I'm not outwardly angry, but, like, angry at myself or whatever, like, it forced me to figure stuff out, forced me to get, like, the money. And, like, I had to realize, like, that anger or these mental things or, whatever baggage that I was bringing, like, that wasn't gonna help me get to the next level. And so, for me, it was just, like, as I'm going through this journey working on those things, and then this thing happened, right? And I found myself just one night, man, just, like, going going through it. I was I was laying in bed, and my head was just like, "You're gonna need another job. You're not gonna be able to do this. Like, it's gonna be too hard. Like, be realistic. You're not by yourself anymore. You gotta look out for your family." And it was weird because like in an instant, I just snapped out of it and was like, "Bro, my head is talking some crazy trash right now." Like, and it was. I mean, it's easier said than done to just do something like that at random. It felt, but you can't allow for those things to get in the way because they're just You know, so Don Rich, she's
What was the things that you were telling yourself at that moment to battle those conflictions? Because everyone
yeah,
gets it. Like, everyone's gonna have those, I call it your subconscious mind just trying to protect
yeah.
you, keep you stagnant in your place. Like, what are the things that you were telling yourself? It's like, "Nah, we."
A lot of it, man, goes back to just being completely blind, like you were mentioning, and I didn't know what the future was gonna hold, and so, like, all I could tell myself was, like, "You're just starting off in this business, you're young, CEO gonna trust you, like, your hood, you're not gonna resonate, like, you're not gonna get it, like, they're gonna hear the way that you talk," and it's just, like, all these just stupid crap that I would be telling myself, and there was, like, yeah, the people in my position that are doing the things that I wanna do are way more tenured, they got experience, they're getting paid, like, multiple six figures, and I'm just like, man, maybe I'm not ready for that. Like maybe it's just like, I took a bite bigger than I could chew, and it was just like, I don't, I don't know what the future holds, and so for me, it's like I got this far, and it wasn't all because of me, right? Like a lot of a lot of how far I've gotten, I like to say like, oh yeah, because I worked hard and I hustled, but I mean that's only part of it. Like a lot of it was luck too, a lot of it was God, and so for me, it's like I know that I'm smart, like I know that I'm ahead of the game, and probably way more ahead of the game than a lot of people that a lot of people know. And
Right.
the facts are like I've got my own unique skill set. I've got my own unique superpower. And for me to just, like screw it, like, that I can't get stuck on imposter syndrome. I need to channel in my superpower and just go full force with that because that's how I'm gonna sell myself. That's how it's gonna come out natural. You know what I mean? Like that's what people are gonna hear. And sure enough, like I mean, I got tattoos, I'll come in a meeting with my hat, backwards and I'm talking to CEOs and they're just like, bro, like, we were thinking about bringing you in next quarter, but you need to meet my partners tomorrow. Like, I'm just leaning into it.
Yeah, just being your authentic
Yep.
self. Yeah, so that's like one thing I noticed too with me. Like personally, it was times where I was trying to fit this mold of your traditional business guy or investor or things like that. As far as like I started to change the way I talk and communicate. I'm like, bro, this shit is daunting. Like, fuck
Mhm.
this. Like I and it drove me to started to see like I was becoming a person that I'm not naturally. And it's not saying like I didn't want to give up parts of me to become this other person, but it was like this person that I was becoming wasn't even clear to me
Mhm.
at that point because I was just trying to fit this mold. Eh, but yeah, man. Um, Going back to like your childhood. So do you still hang around like some of your current friends today that you grew up?
It's crazy stuff. And I remember there was one interview that ASAP did with Snoop, and they were talking about they were talking about basically the separation. And so the way that they described it was, we all started right here at the same level, right? And so as you grow and as you start to evolve into a bigger person, a better person, doing things for yourself, like you have an opportunity to keep going and leave these people behind, or you can come back down, right? But at the end of the day, like everybody makes a decision. And yeah, like, man, like I still think about these people. Like my neighborhood that I grew up in, bro, like everybody, like not everybody, but bro, across the street, my next door neighbor, their neighbor got shot. They got, cartel, they got murder, they got, drugs at the wheel. Like my neighborhood's no good. And so the people that I grew up with, I got a couple brothers, but they're single. They're out there living their life. And it's just like, it sucks because like I want to hang out with them, but we got different priorities. And well, I'll see you when I see you type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's the same way, for me. It's like I grew up in a rough neighborhood and I always tell myself, it's like, I have to get out of this because there's a saying that I live by is your environment will change you before you change it. And based on what I've seen growing up in West Philly, it was like, we know what the outcome is gonna
Yeah.
be. Like, if you go down this path, we know what it is. We actually started going down that path. It was like, "Bro, you wanna check yourself, things? Like, what's happening here?" Um, but yeah, your environment will change you before you change it, and I it seemed like we both kinda, like, made that conclusion, like, we wanted to change our environment and get out of where we were to be in a better place than where we was at that
Gotta
time.
celebrate that, man.
Facts. 100%. So, what's some of the goals that you have for your business site right now, 2025?
For me, man, going back to just like the whole me trying to control my outcomes,
Uh-huh.
um, like, I have an idea, right? Like, I have things that I wanna do, things that are probably in the sky for me. And so, the long story short of it is, like, I wanna be able to have other people on my team that I can basically show what I'm doing and just have, like, a full-on, like, agency basically to help business owners with their technology. And 'cause there's a huge like I said, there's a huge need for that kinda stuff here in our industry. But I don't try to go too far. Like, I really don't. I don't try to, like, map out everything because 1, I see it as a couple of things. Like, I see it as distracting. Like, I see it as, like, a a way for me like, it's almost like a form of procrastination on other things that I should be doing. It's kinda like that shiny object. Because I mean, obviously, it excites me, but, bro, I leave it all in God's hands. Like, I don't like, I know where I wanna go and I know what I wanna do, but I only wanna do it if it aligns to the things that He wants for me, and I don't know what that looks like today, tomorrow, next year, 5 like, I have no idea. And so, as long as I hold on to my principles, like, I'm gonna be alright. Like, I know I'm gonna be alright. Like, I have too much in me to not be just, like, crazy with it. Like, I know I'm gonna be good.
I like that, man. I like that. That is basically like the utmost faith right there. It's like not saying it's the utmost faith that God got you, but also that everything's always gonna work out in the end. And that's the I feel like with me personally, like that's the mindset that a lot of us do need to be in is your your decisions basically create your reality. So if you're always thinking like these things never work out in my favor, then that's kind of what's going to happen.
Yep, exactly.
Well, if you have that faith in God, Buddha, whoever it is that the viewers are kind of like listening to or look up to, it's still seeing that you're like the principles kind of remain the same within multiple different cultures, religions, higher powers and frequencies and whatnot. With all these principles, though, they all kind of still say the same thing: is you need to have faith.
Mhm.
And I put it like this: one of my mentors, he gave me this analogy, and I kind of been rocking with it. Coin, but faith and doubt are one and the same thing. Like faith and doubt literally are the exact same thing. You can't have doubt in something at the same time you have faith in something. So think about a coin. It's like you got a quarter. You got heads and tails. Heads is faith, tails is doubt. You can't like if this coin is on the table, you cannot see the opposite side. You can only see the head side, which is faith. If it's on the tail side, then you cannot see the head because you're only doubting
Right.
something. So with that being said, like they're literally the exact same thing, but your energy can only be on one at a time. When you put your energy on faith, what you bring to yourself is anticipation, which is like excitement for what's yet to come. When you put yourself on doubt, you bring yourself anxiety, which is stress for what is about to come. Still both the exact same paths, but one has a negative energy attached to it, one has a positive energy attached to it. And we can kind of determine which path we want to go down based on our thoughts and our decisions at the end of the day. That's kinda like where my mind strays from that.
Yeah, bro, I love that. And I think too is like one distinction that's important to make is you can have faith and still be scared. Like, to be scared, if you're following whatever it is that you follow, it doesn't mean that you're not like that you don't have faith. Like, it's a human reaction. It's a human emotion to have fear. But to your point, like, it's either faith or doubt, right? And so a lot of times when people are going through that valley and they're putting trust in everything that they're putting all their trust in God or whatever it is. It's like it's almost like all you have is like a candle, and you're walking through this like crazy like forest, and you don't see anything around you. Like, all you got is just the light that illuminates your path in front of you. There's gonna be monsters over here, there's gonna be demons over here, there's gonna be, like, whatever everywhere around you, but as long as you keep on following that light, like, you'll be good. And the other thing too is, like, once you get comfortable with that, then you're gonna have to walk up some stairs, and there's gonna be demons below you, there's gonna be demons flying as you're, like, at a higher elevation, like, that stuff doesn't go away, but you do have to keep that faith alive, like, you absolutely have to, otherwise, you're gonna, fall back.
I love that analogy, man. It's a great story right there. I may have to borrow that from you.
Yeah, man.
Um, so for you right now, how do you actually help business owners with their frameworks and with their systems? Because like I know for me, well, one of the things you had mentioned is like you put like this. What you don't track, you can't grow. And what I see a lot of business owners doing is they fail tracking anything. They're just making money, do it over again, make money, do it over again, make money. But I'm like, okay, well, are you actually, do you know what you're doing? So I put this back to like recipes in my family household. My mom taught me how to make mac and cheese. She just like, yo, use one box of mac and cheese, put this much butter in, put this much parsley in, put this much Suzanne in, put this much garlic powder. This is like this much. She don't tell you tablespoon, teaspoon. So every time we make it, it's a little bit different. It still has the same overall taste to it, but it's not predictable. Business, a lot of business owners do the exact same thing with their company, where it's like, it's that same flow, but it's not predictable. How do you help business owners get that predictability in their company?
For me, if I'm not doing it myself, I'm just talking theory. And so for me, it's like, I track everything. Like I track literally everything from campaigns that I do to outreach to engagement to response rates. Like I capture literally everything that I can and I document everything. Right. So there's this app that I use, it's called Capacities. And Capacities is basically like Notion on steroids. And so Capacities for me, it's like I can throw literally everything I have. I'm talking about like hundreds up to thousands of different prompts. I got a prompt library. I got different campaigns. I've got different client information. I've got strategies, SOPs, like literally everything inside of this Capacities app. And so for me, it's just all a matter of being able to tap into those things. And with the advent of ChatGPT's operator and all these things, like now I spend less time having to, spend like carve out an hour out of my day and just let operator report all my metrics for me. And so if it hadn't been for me getting my hands dirty and actually doing the work myself and practicing what I preach, like I said, it's all just theory. And so when I'm coming to these business owners and I'm telling them this is what you need to do to scale because I've done it, you know what I mean? Like that goes from me just reading off of some resume like, "Oh, yeah, I'd worked at Enterprise for 12 years," or whatever, right? It goes from that to say, like, "I got all these gold medals. Here they are on the table. This is what you do." Like, and so, I mean, you make a decision, like, now I'm not hurting. Like, you either go with me or not, but, like, sucks for you if you think you can figure it out, but, yeah, it's all just practicing what I preach for me.
Gotcha. Like that. Okay, just taking notes that way I can remember certain things. Um, so what is one of the things that you feel like a lot of your clients lack as of right now? Like if it's one common trend that's hurting them where they currently are, what would you say that is?
I think the biggest thing is like, so just to add some context, so before I got into tech, like, my first introduction was jailbreaking an iPhone. I saw the iPhones, they had this thing called Cydia, and I was like, "Oh, you could do this to your app, or and you could do this to your phone, you can make it." And so I wanted to figure out how to jailbreak my phone, and so that just, like, completely opened up the world of tech to me, and so I figured out how to do FTPs and how to, like, all this whatever. So what I'm trying to say is a lot of that stuff scares people. They get cross-eyed.
Mhm.
And it's not just about tech, it's about, to your point, like, data too. Like, they don't like, what am I even looking at? Like, and so because it takes a certain type of person to really, like, tune into that kind of space, for me, it's like, you as a business owner, just allow yourself to leverage a subject matter expert to take care of all those things for you while you work on the bigger problems to solve. You don't gotta worry about it. Just tell me what you wanna get done, and I'll tell you how. Like, don't try to come to my meetings with the developers. Don't, like, stay in your lane, bro. Like, I got this. Like, you need to empower me because I got the answer for you. And so the biggest thing for entrepreneurs, especially on the visionary side, is just, like I said, just being scared of tech. Being scared of tech, and then also because they're not, like, as deep into the water what tech is was as I am, obviously, a lot of them like to, and they can spell AI, so everybody wants AI. And it's like, "Okay, so what do you wanna do?" Like, what and so nobody knows what they wanna do. They're just like, "Oh, I want AI because that's the future." And they're like, "Yeah, you're right, it is the future, but what do you wanna do with it?" And they don't realize how much it costs. They don't realize, like, what it's gonna do, and it's just like, you know, if there's someone that wants to put AI in an admin task, and I'm like, "Why?" Like, "You're just overcomplicating it." Like, there's no point. Like, we got if we have data, let's use predictive insights or something that we can get from the data that you have. Like, what let's just, add a checklist for this task. Like, what it doesn't have to be complicated. And so it's just the level and depth of knowledge when it comes to the tech stuff that really is dangerous. And especially today, man, just like obviously, like, the direction that we're going with AI is inevitable. Like, when I first started GPT, I'm just like, "Oh, whatever, like, it's just a chat thing." And it's it's changing the world, bro. Like, it's really changing the world. And it's gonna become a certain point where it's like the unique capabilities that we have as human beings is what got us through all these different revolutions, or, throughout history. And now it's like we have to ask, like, what is our role now? Because robots are gonna be smarter than us, like, by the end of this year. You know what I mean? Like, it's scary and it's going crazy fast, and if you're not ahead of that stuff, like, you're gonna be so far behind. And the fact is, like, so AI isn't gonna replace anybody, but the people who are using AI will. And so if you're not in that game, like, you're gonna become obsolete in no time at all, just as fast as we're going. So
100% agreed. It's like, if you don't know how to adapt with AI, be prepared to get, um, Best Buy. That's the
bye
way I
bye.
call it. So how are you personally, like, using tech and AI in your personal life and in your business life?
In my personal life, for me, I don't really use a lot of it for my personal life. I mean, there's like different like apps, like so I use this calendar, um, and it has like AI in it, but like I take care of my personal life, but for business, bro, like it runs everything, like literally everything. And the amount that I got on my plate, like there's no way I like if ChatGPT goes down, like I'm out of business. Like I my whole business operates off of this stuff. And so Um, for me, the way I use it in business is a couple of different things. And so, like, if I'm helping somebody with a strategy, for example, I just tap into any one of my prompt library prompts, and it's got like, when we talk about prompt engineering, like PhD level, like these are some like crazy prompts that I have. And so, literally, all I got to do is just throw in the prompt. It already knows all the context of who I've been talking to, what I've been working on, and I'm just like fill in the blanks here, and it'll come out with a whole business plan, whole business strategy. And so the way that it's helpful is because a lot of people kudos to whoever's using ChatGPT, but a lot of people are just, like, using it to, like, "How do I smoke a brisket?" You know what I mean? And if you're not applying that critical thinking and that empirical wisdom that you hopefully have, it's not gonna do you any good. So I'm pulling from my corporate strategies. I'm pulling from the EOS strategies from real estate. I'm pulling from all these things that I've learned, all these books that I've read, these seminars that I've gone to, these masterminds that I've been a part of, where I put everything together and I have unique prompts for all of that stuff. And so at any given time, when I want to tap into the best minds, Like, I just pull up that prompt and I'm like, "All right, here's the strategy." No thinking at all whatsoever is needed on my part, except for just, fine tuning it and just, massaging it to make it, custom to whatever it is that we're trying to do at the end of the day. But the bulk of it is just, yeah, it's hand free and it's changing the game.
How do you imagine the world's gonna be in, like, the next 5 years when it comes to this artificial intelligence?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna say for me, I can't even picture
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying.
When I see it, it's just like, "Bro, yeah, okay, I see that," but then a week later, I hear an article like, "Bro, my year vision is happening right now." So I'm like, I don't even know what to expect. But yeah, for you, what do you feel like AI will have, how would it influence our world in the next 5 years?
I think, I mean, even in just this year, like, there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about, um, that I've been privy to just because of how deep I go into AI. And so for me, like, for example, so when it comes to prospecting, whether it's for real estate property or even finding clients for my own technology business, there are tools that I can use agents for that have specific roles to do specific things, to do specific research, come up with an executive summary for me and provide custom messaging. Like, I could find out a crazy amount about an individual and their business, even their personality. There's APIs to tap into find just ethical, right? But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is there's stuff out there that people just don't know about. There was a there was a CRM that I was trying to create on my own, and for like a year, I brought on a team, spent a whole bunch of time designing, salaries and all that. And still at the end of the year, like, I wasn't able to get it done. Bro, I went to this one AI app where you could just basically tell it what you wanted to do. Bro, in 10 minutes, my CRM was built. It's crazy. Like, that's where AI is today. And at the end of the year, I could just, for me, it's like when I built that app, it was an engaged type of chat and conversation. It was checking in to see what I wanted and it would build it off on the side and whatever. At the end of the year, I see it just like you giving it a thought and no conversation needed, and you could just, you know, tidy up, small it'll just get better in terms of how it performs. In 5 years, man, they came out with this, I don't know if you saw, but Apple has, like, this new lamp that it has, like, it'll, like, engage with you. Like, if you tell it to look
Mhm.
that way, and it'll have, like, a personality. It's a lamp. It's a desk lamp. And so
Mhm.
robots are gonna be, like, a whole 'nother thing in 5 years. I feel like, I know it sounds real nerdy, but, like, I really feel like robots are gonna be a thing in 5 years, and it's gonna be crazy.
Very, very common.
Yeah.
We see them now, but not as much as we will in the future, like, we is one restaurant out here in Georgia, an Asian restaurant where literally it brings us like, a robot brings us our
Yeah.
food. We meet one human person coming into the restaurant, and that is just the person that seats us to the table. Everything else is all robots.
Th
The robot will come around and check on us. It's like, "Anything else y'all need? If so, click on it on the screen." I'm like, "Bro, what is going
that's
on?
insane.
For real?" So and this robot's just like a little, TV screen on wheels, so but seeing, like, how things are going, you got the little dog robots roaming around being security guards. You got the delivery robots in California going crazy. Uh, you got taxis now that's just completely AI driven. Robots that will like, they're here.
Bro,
They're here.
PlayStation just came out, I think it was PlayStation. They came out with this thing for, I think it was a VR set, where they can recreate smell, like, an electronic, yeah, like, it was weird, like, that's the level of technology, like, you're able to create. So what I'm saying is, like, yeah, when we get to a point where, like, okay, these MIT or whoever is, creating these robots, like, okay, cool, your robot does some backflips, but we're talking about, like, creating senses, and then, OpenAI is talking about how it's adding some, like, real legit, like, reasoning and logic and intelligence, and man, you had a combination of all that stuff put together. It's gonna be like, you look at some of these AI videos, like, you can't even tell them apart. Like, that's what it's gonna be like, I feel like you're not gonna be able to tell, like, who you're speaking with, and they're gonna have to, like, have a sticker on here, "I'm an AI robot," or something, like.
I legit sent my family and friends a video AI video of me at the Super Bowl, and they could not tell. They was all excited. It's like, "Maurice, you was at the Super." "Yeah, man, Eagles won." "Yeah."
Yeah,
But it was completely AI generated,
that's
like,
very
but you cannot tell, like, the confetti's all flying down, you got people running around in the background, and I'm just over here, like, all AI,
yeah, it's happening, man, it's taking over, like it or not.
for real. So, for this now, with your business, like, what is better yet, like this, if you could be remembered for one thing, like, you and your work, what would that be?
If I could be remembered for one thing in my business, it's that I don't quit. I mean, even if you feel like you got an impossible problem, it's taking years to solve and you still have it, like, I'm the one that say I'm gonna figure it out. And the crazy part is I do figure it out every single time. And so that's the part that I want to be remembered is like there's nothing like whether it comes to life circumstance, whether it comes to business or whether it comes to family, relationship and marital issues or child acting up or crazy, whatever, like however crazy something might seem, I figured out.
Resilience. I love that. I love that, man. So, for your professional and personal vision, how how does your future vision impact your daily decisions today? Like, on a daily basis, how do you change what you're doing based on where it is that you're looking to go?
It's a very deep question. I feel like for me, like I need that sense of like I need at least a compass. And so that's all I really rely on. Um, for me, it's just like I said, without going too deep, trying to figure out like what the actual details of a plan are. For me, it's just like as long as I have a compass, like I'm good. But what that also does for me is it allows for me to like acknowledge the capacity that I have for myself and for my business and my family. And so, just kind of doing things aimlessly or letting my work dictate me or just like the business from me. It's like I will never have the there's no way for me to ever see the bigger picture if I'm stuck in it. And
Mm.
so for me, it's just like I let myself be guided, and that translates into everything in my life. Um, and yeah, man, things get crazy, but like if you don't have that capacity, you just like you're dead weight. It's tough, man. You got like I said, there's people that rely on you, and so like you just got to make sure that you're keeping your head up and staying strong for them. And so man, just being open to growth, being open to change, always willing to learn, um, and just like s- setting some dedicated time to like really learn new things. A lot of these, especially for like business, a lot of these people who want to go through like this digital transformation are stuck in their own ways, and it's just like, nah, like I've got here doing it my way, and I know my way works, and so whatever that is, like, nah, it's not for me. It's just like, all right, bro, like, that's on you. But like, you got to really be open to,
Adapt with the
yeah,
times.
man. And it's scary too, just because like how fast things are changing, and like you really like, bro, I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. Like, I really don't. But you just got to put yourself out there.
Yeah, agreed. That goes back to, like, the subconscious mind thing I had mentioned earlier. It it's so crazy that for me, I feel like that is our biggest battle on a regular basis is end of the day, Your subconscious mind's main goal is to keep you protected. Doesn't matter if you're happy, doesn't matter if you're sad, doesn't matter if you're wealthy, doesn't matter if you're sick, poor, rich. It does not matter whatsoever. Its main goal is just to keep you protected.
Mhm.
And when we hear change or let's do something new, our subconscious mind's like, hold up, red flag. What you mean new? New, that's risky. Oh, we don't like new over here. Let's go back to what we was already doing. And based on the things that we was already doing, like we know that work and we know it's safe because we did it before. Even if it's hurting us, we still know that it's safe. Like, let's prove that point real quick. My bad. There say like you got a girl that's in a domestic relationship, right? And she's constantly getting beat by her dude. Mentally, consciously, like she wants to be out this relationship, but her subconscious mind is always telling her, it's like, nah, he loves us. It's okay. We're good here. We're gonna stay. Like we love this guy. Knowing damn well that is not the relationship for her.
Mhm.
But the reason that she's staying is because she survived day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 60, day 70. She already survived all those days. So she knows what to expect now. Her subconscious mind is looking at it like, well, we survived this day. Why can't we survive tomorrow? We know what the process is going to be like. If we leave this, oh, everything else out there seems very riskier.
Mhm.
I don't think I want to entertain that. And that's why I say like the biggest battle you have is with your subconscious mind because that girl, even though that she knows it's needed for her to get out this relationship, like, after day 1, you should have been gone. But you stick around because of the battles that we have with ourselves, telling us that this path is easier, it's more reliable. It's not really, not true. But the the thought of change scares so many people
For sure.
in their personal life, in their business life, doesn't matter what it is. The thought of change is what holds so many people back from truly adapting and expanding or building off of where they currently are to where they want to be in a more fulfilled lifestyle.
Yeah, dude, I feel like it's a it's kinda like a, caterpillar, right? Like, as a caterpillar, you chunky up, you eat a whole bunch of food on the ground, you're looking at, whatever dangers are there at the ground level, and you're able to sustain, right? But then when you somehow one day just say, "I'm gonna spin up a cocoon," wherever that skill set comes from, whatever, right? But it isn't until that moment where you realize, like, I need to let go of everything that I know and just be open to whatever comes my way. And, like, the interesting part about that too is, like, again, just, going back to prayers, like, if I prayed that I'm gonna be successful and I'm gonna make all this money and I can overcome XYZ, God's gonna deliver on his promise, right? And so when you have a situation where it's like, man, you're starting to hit a wall, or you got like your client just fell apart or whatever, like,
I add something to that what you just said though.
you got
For sorry. With action.
yeah,
Because like I see a lot of people they pray, but they also need to take action on the things that they're praying for. You can't just pray and sit back. It's like
and be open.
right, you still need to be able to take action on the things that you are praying for. Like he will place the opportunities in front of you. Now it's your job just to grab the
Exactly.
opportunity. But yeah, my bad. Continue.
No, you're good, man. Yeah, I mean that's the and at the end of the day, like when you're excuse me, you're praying for these things, right? And so he gave you obstacles to overcome. You're praying for opportunities, and so he's overloading you with ways of seeking for him for discernment. You pray for, patience with the mom or the dad or whatever, and he's gonna give you a hard person to deal with, tomorrow. And it's just like you're getting what you asked for. And so you have to like learn to just like be open to that change because yeah, when you crawl up in that butterfly, you let go of it or crawl into that cocoon and become a butterfly. Like, man, the world is yours. Like, you don't gotta worry about food no more. Like, you literally fly wherever you wanna go, and food is everywhere. Like, you got that camouflage on your wings, like, you're protected. Like, things change in a really crazy way when you let go of a lot of those things that just, that hold you back.
Right, well, that's beautifully put. What what would you say your younger self would tell you now? Like, if your younger self is looking at you today, what do you feel like he would tell you?
Damn. It's like, you made it. You made it. Man, I look at, people like us where, I don't know too many details about, what you had gone through, but, when I was younger, kind of gone through the party phase, you know what I mean? Messed around with drugs and whatnot. And so people like that, like, they're either dead or hooked for life. You know what I mean? And so to not only break addiction and get out of that environment is just like a tiny, tiny percent, let alone those people who break those cycles and make the kind of money that we make. It's like that's even less of a 1%. It's like people don't do this kind of things, you know what I mean? And so like for my younger self to look at where I'm at now, probably break down crying, bro. Like, he's like, damn, you got it figured out.
So what advice would you give your younger self today now?
Just keep going, bro. You'll figure it out.
Bro, it was pleasure talking to you. We gotta do this more often, definitely catch
For sure.
up. Um, one last question for you. I feel like this one, just to end it off with this, is what is one lesson you learned the hard way that you wish more people actually understood?
For themselves or about me.
Mhm. For themselves. Like, you had to learn this lesson the hard way, but you feel like this should be common.
Bro, like, I say one of the hardest lessons that people should like just expose yourself. Like for me, like being in San Antonio, it's an amazing place to live. Like I love raising a family here. But like when I was younger, my mom, she told me she went to one of these corporate parties, and it was at that moment where she was like, I didn't know there were people like this. You know what I mean? And so like as she raised me, she became this person who showed me different things. And so I was exposed to hard work and, and it wasn't until I went out of San Antonio, I went to Austin where I saw a whole bunch of creative people. I went to Dallas, saw a bunch of business people. I went to Houston, where I saw a bunch of hustlers and just like go-getters out there to get money. Like everywhere you go, you need to expose yourself to just like, man, like I didn't know that was out there. You know what I mean? Like seeing a Ferrari down the street, like that goes right down. Like I could do that. You know what I mean? And so that it only comes from being able to expose yourself. Because without it, you're just gonna be stuck in a little old town doing the same old thing, watching YouTube, and maybe you didn't want it that bad after all.
Yeah, I gotta say this, but, like, I was supposed to end, but now, like, you bring this to my thoughts. Um, there's friends that I have, like, that still have not left, I would say, like, a 50-mile radius of our city, like, where we grew up. They never experienced outside of Philadelphia. Never been on a plane, never been on a bus that takes them somewhere, a boat, none of that. And I'm just like, "Wow, the world is so big, and yet you're confined in this imaginary cage that you put yourself in
Mhm.
to limit you around this small little city, like this zip code. 19139 is the only place you will ever travel. It's like you take one step across the zip code, oh no, 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 I can't do that. Like, and it helped me realize that one thing that I'm appreciative about my childhood is that my at the time it was bad because like my mom was going through some things, and then I would have to get shit from my mom to my dad. My dad was always working, so I would have to basically get shit from my dad to my grandparents. But my grandparents happened to build this house out in Richmond, Virginia, and they lived in the suburbs. So as a city kid, like a city boy, all I knew was row homes, like no backyards, no front yards. All I knew. I knew the projects, like I knew small confined spaces. Experiencing the suburbs for the first time was at that time, it was very fucking boring. It was so boring, like, I was bored out of my mind, but now looking back at it, it's like I'm very appreciative of those moments because it helped me see how big society really is, and to appreciate, 1, the city where I came from, but 2, to now appreciate how the environment that I live is different. Like, now I live in the suburbs, you might as well say. I got out the hood and moved out into the suburbs, so, like, having that feeling of appreciation for certain areas in our life, and you kinda just, like, help me express that real
Yeah,
quick. But
that's
yeah,
beautiful.
alright.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, nah, man, I appreciate you coming on today, like, for real. What's is there anything you wanna leave the audience with as we close up and wrap up the show?
No, man, just, I love what you're doing here, just giving people, some good conversation. It's good. It's good for the soul. It's good for the mind. And so just keep at it. Anybody that's listening, anybody that will, tune into to future episodes, just know there's people out here fighting the fight with you. And so just stay strong and you'll figure it out.
Cool. Where can they find you at?
So I got a couple of different places. So I have for business, I got a site called rei-strategy.com. And so that's where you can find out more about what I do and how I help out in the technology realm. Um, my social, it's pretty close friends and whatnot. So if you need something, to anybody who's listening, y'all hit me up there. Um, but yeah, man, George Reyna, George. Last name is Reyna. Reyna. Look me up on Facebook. If you got any questions, need any help, I love to help people. My network, your network is your net worth. So
Facts. I love that, man. So thank you again for coming on. All the viewers, our watchers, as y'all know, this is BYOB The Series, and it is a journey. It's not a one-stop destination. It is a journey of processes that you have to go through. Legit a series. So stay tuned for the next one, and I hope you enjoy the show.